So you said that the younger generation could look at sources like in social media, political research, activists, and etc. So, but how can we be a wise observer and eventually a voter, knowing that like some of the information in the media or some majorities are is biased, knowing that, for example, some news channels and media is owned by party members, and so they tend to make the writings more biased and supportive towards one candidate. And another example is like AI, for example, artificial intelligence. Like there's like they can frame people with an artificial voice, and in the hands of wrong people, it can spread misinformation, and like people, elderly people might not be able to like identify if this is real or not real. So how can we differentiate between facts and rumors for all ages, so that we can have a source that we trust and can consult?
Yeah, that's so true. In terms of, that's a big challenge for us, not only for your generations, but for us, in terms of having really reliable and good sources, trustworthy sources. So my suggestion is try to get in some big names in media, not a tiny one, but the big names. For instance, like a newspaper, you can follow Kompas, for instance, or Tempo or Jakarta Post, the big names. Of course, not 100% they become neutral, but they have a tendency to be intention to be neutral. And those sources, I think, is quite understand how to provide a neutral or objective news to the people, even though not 100% neutral or objective. But it is better if you compare it to other sources. And not use one sources. Try to find many names, many sources. And that's a very easy one. But if you want to know more, maybe you can get in or join to more serious sources, like from university. So if in the web, maybe .idea, .edu, for instance, educations, it is better than just .org. It is more trustworthy sources. So my message is try to find a good one. It means good names, good institutions, well-known institutions, and then make some comparisons, not only one source, but you can try 2 or 3. And by having those things, there's a lot of people, maybe you can come up as a narasumber. What is narasumber? Is a reliable and trustworthy people that you can trust, because they are experts, and you can follow those experts what they say about it. But you have to be careful as well by not only following one sources, but also please try to follow other sources, so you can compare it, and finally maybe you can choose which one is better, or you can combine those news, so you have your own conclusions.
So like 48% of the voters were like people above 40. So like I want to ask if like for example, I watched like an AI frame the voice of the Nasdem party leader like being mad at Anies Baswedan, for example. And how do you think that people who are like above 60 or 50 can understand, for example, like, is this fake or not? And like, because us as younger generations, as Gen Zs, we can immediately identify that this is fake because we know that it's not natural. But perhaps for people who are like above 50 and elderly, who don't have the best, for example, listening or understanding, how do they have a reliable source if, for example, they don't have the same privileges like the internet or a good smartphone or something like that? How can they have a good source that they can trust, and how can they like filter the information, because you cannot trust everything, and like sometimes they also can misunderstand and it can cause misinformation.
Yes, that's the dangerous situation for our current situations in terms of having those things in our media social environment. And I think this become obligation for the government, and also this is your turn, your generation, try to explain them what happened, what exactly happened. But for the people like 60 or 50, I think they already know, or they already have their own sources to rely on. So maybe the sources is not in the social media, maybe the peer group, maybe the persons that they know can provide them the good information for them. Because the source of politics is not only from social media. Sometimes people prefer to listen from their friends, from the best friends, from the people they trust. But still homework for us, still problem for us. What if they suddenly want to know about politics more by using social media? They're also really a big trap there. And again, the suggestions is actually you have to not only rely on one or two sources, but you have to have more sources.